Well, welcome back. Going to do a unboxing today, just one specific item. So that's why I'm dedicating a whole video to it. And it's kind of related to some shorts that I've already done recently. Although in this case, it's a new one. So we just get on with it. And that is this. Ignore this part here. This was the shipping label that I ripped off. But it is completely sealed and new old stock. Although it was delivered when it was raining. So a tiny bit of moisture got in up here. And you can see a little bit right there. So that's the unfortunate part, because they shipped it just like this. They didn't ship it in an actual box and there's little holes and stuff like that. But whatever. Hopefully everything is intact. I did a little bit of research on this, tried to look up the model number, and that didn't really come up with much other than the fact that it might be a DR CDRW 1232. And here are the specs of the actual drive itself. And just some basic installation instructions. And it's funny how they've got a system here with a 5 1/4 inch floppy disk drive. So this is either going to be a 46 or a Pentium class. But the system requirements for the software are anywhere from Windows 95 up through Millennium Edition or 2000. Well, the drive supports 2000. The software says up to Windows Me. I'm hoping it would work in 2000. Otherwise, could be problematic for anyone that bought it for that purpose. But we're going to use it on my NEC PC, which is running Windows 98. So we don't have to worry about that. All right, so let's just go ahead and we'll open the seal. Yep, we're going to... A high-val CD-ROM drive, a CD burner. Oh no, there aren't a ton of these on eBay. Actually, there are still quite a few out there. New old stock as well, although one listing I saw, it said it's new old stock, unopened, and yet they showed all of the components that are in the box, which means you opened it. So, don't know what to tell you. Now, it is easy nowadays to re-shrink wrap stuff, so there's always a chance that it wasn't new old stock, but when I examined this little crease here, it really wasn't much of one. In fact, when you open it, you can see the crease has some bends and stuff in there, so this is probably new old stock. And there it is. Actually came with a user's guide, which is fascinating because nothing comes with a guide anymore. Even online guides are very limited. Installation, copy of Nero, version 5.5. Warranty registration through IO Magic. How to contact tech support. Rust on the staples there, so this was probably kept in a moisture environment. In fact, when I smell it, it has that slight musty scent, so this was probably kept somewhere, maybe in a storage container or what have you. Let's take a look at the installation guide here. Let me see if I can adjust here so it's not so oversaturated. There's more of the rust from the staple. Setting the jumper settings, because you do have to set all of that. How to actually install it. How to install the actual software. And then, of course, how to use Nero. So, and then there's the full guide here. Which again is just how to use Nero, how to install the drive, etc. So, and Nero itself, I think, is just the disk. Yeah, we'll open that in a bit. Let's take a look at the drive. All right, there's still some more things in here. So before we do that, got some screws. There is also a CD audio cable. Does this come with a IDE cable? I don't think so. Here's the drive itself. Yep, that is a DR CDRW 1232. This one is May of 01. So, cool. No other branding or anything like that. And it looks like it has a flip down door instead of just a tray that pops out on its own. There will be a tray that comes out on its own after the door flips down, which is going to be similar to the drive in the NEC. So that's kind of neat. And I mean, it looks as pristine as new old stock can. A little bit of a scratch there. That's probably from the factory because I don't see any markings where the screw holes are. I don't see anything odd about the actual IDE connector. Nothing that looks like it was even used. So this is probably new old stock. And yeah, the door does just flop down and cool. So like I said, we're going to install this in the NEC PC. It's going to be a little bit interesting because the original drive in there, the screw hole mounts are blocked by the motherboard, and I'm not going to take out the entire motherboard just to remove the drive. So what I'm going to have to do is use one of the only remaining drive bays that are left there. Hopefully the existing cable can reach this. If not, I might need to move some things around. So we'll see. So there's going to be a slight snag. I didn't print out any extra drive rails to be able to use down there. I can just remove the extra floppy disk drive for now. Put this in its place, which probably makes sense anyway because it'll be closer to the original drive there so I can piggyback off of its IDE cable. So we'll just do that for now. So I had to use different screws because A, the ones they supplied weren't long enough for my rails, and B, these sit a lot more flush, make it easier to slide into the chassis itself. I've also got the jumper on the back set to slave, since that's probably what I'm going to be using it as for now. I'm not going to hook up the audio cable right now, even though I have a spot on the sound card for it, because that one spot is shared with the other CD-ROM drive, and I don't want to disconnect one just yet. So hopefully I'll be able to finagle the IDE cable after it's installed, because there is definitely not a whole lot of length on it. So we'll see. So of course the cable that's currently in there is a single channel IDE cable. The only dual channel cable I have is one of these. It'll work as long as, these wires are intact. It ain't pretty, but hopefully it'll work. I'll try to get maybe some new IDE cables ordered or something. Maybe I can find some somewhere. Thought I had a whole supply of them, but all I have are just single channel ones. So I'm not going to put the case back on just yet, just in case I have to finagle with something. But let's see. Cool, it sees it. Now, of course, we've got to wait for Windows shenanigans, and then we can continue. So I will be right back. All right, let's see. By the way, this is a super basic install of Windows 98 for a completely different project that I'm working on. Hopefully, we'll get that one out soon. And as we can see, there's an E drive. I'm assuming that's the new one. Ignore all these errors. There it is. And we do want DMA. And let's do sync data transfer. Why not? And we'll be back. All right, let's make sure it actually reads disks. And to do that, we're just going to use the copy of Nero it came with, since we have to install it anyway, right? So, again, another seal is about to be broken. If I can focus. It doesn't want to focus, of course. There we are. Ooh. The cellophane has stuck to the CD. And it's the full copy of Nero, so let me take a look at the disc to make sure it wasn't damaged by the cellophane. Looks like it's okay. Go ahead and insert it into the new drive. Oh, that was quick. It just spits the tray out. There it is. Will autoplay start? Yes, it does. I'll go ahead and get this installed and we'll continue. And we're done. Let's go ahead and open it up. Make sure it works. And I'm going to test burn using one of these newer discs that I have. It's a Plex disc up to 52x, 80 minutes, 700 megabytes. I want to see if it's actually going to be able to support that or not. We're going to go ahead and create a no multi-session disk. We'll call it cause test. Hit new. We'll dump some MIDI files on there as well. And I think that's all I want to do. Max is 12x, and that's what we're going to do. And we'll finalize it. We won't simulate. And it crashed because that's what happens. Kernel 32.dll. Interesting. Let's try again. Operation has been canceled due to restrictions in effect on this computer. Please contact your system administrator. Hey, Kaz, I need some help with something here. Let's do some troubleshooting. So I tried again, and we get this now. And it crashed again. I seem to remember another YouTuber having a similar problem. I'm going to try one more thing. Alright, if the bundled version doesn't work, you try another one. Let's see if this works now. Copy that over, and that, and that. Why not? Not a whole lot, but that's okay. Let's see what happens. Yep, we'll just leave the label there. Finalize CD. And I think we're good. I hear it spinning up. Finalizing the disk right now. And there we go. And then what I'll do is I'll put it into the original CD-ROM drive and see if it can be read or not. Computer. This is the old one there. Shows new CD. And there we are. That's kind of quiet. That's okay, because it's working otherwise. So, the CD burner works. We had to do a little bit of finagling with a newer version of Nero. So I just put 6 on there. And it seems to work fine. So, cool. I've got a CD burner now that I can use for retro stuff on my retro computer. It's going to actually be beneficial because even though I've got a USB burner hooked up to my main editing, gaming PC and everything, sometimes the disks it burns can't be read by older CD-ROM drives, older systems, things like that. So having this available to me should help immensely, especially with non-standard operating systems and all that. Could not utilize version of Nero that came with the system, unfortunately. That's just, I don't know if there's some patches I have to download or what have you. The version of 98 I have installed on here, though, is just a bare minimum install for another project. There's no service packs or anything like that, so that's a possibility there. But I am, again, running version 6 now on here, and it seems to work just fine. So it's possible version 5.5 is buggy. Maybe this particular disk is just bad, and some of the files copied successfully, but not successfully, so who knows. But whatever, I've got that there. I am going to have to print out some new mounting brackets for the physical floppy disk drive because I want to get that back in there because I'd like to have the ability to be able to create physical disks as well. So any tips or suggestions on getting this version of Nero to work, because I'm going to have to recreate all of this thing on my standard 98 setup. that I want to use, for other purposes. So leave them down below if you have them. Otherwise, thanks all. Catch you later.